Hello, and welcome to the Brutal Iron Gym podcast, where our goal is to cut through the BS and deliver the brutal truth about topics related to health and happiness. Today's podcast number 1807. The topic is mindset, and the title is Nothing is Not an Option. I was talking with a client. I'll tell you a little bit of the story. So, the client and I started working together. She was dieting, had lost some weight, but everything seemed to plateau, stall out, kind of nothing was going well. So I gathered some information, and we had a fun little moment. So, what she was doing before, she would wake up around 5:30. She had work from 7 a.m. till 4 p.m. And maybe she would eat lunch, but it was very rarely, like maybe once a week, if that, she would eat lunch. When she got home around 5 p.m. is then she would eat a little bit and then have her bigger meal between 8 and 9 p.m. And then she'd go to bed around 10 to 11, somewhere there. Now, she believed this structure fit intermittent fasting protocols. So what she was doing, she thought was the right thing. It was exactly the right thing to be doing. She wasn't like this was bad habits. This was intentional. Her time window for eating was between 5 to 9 p.m. So she would try to track her calories and her protein. She was eating 1,500 calories and 80 grams of protein. And those fit what she believed to be kind of the minimum numbers that she would need, so that way she could get faster results. So her time window was 5 to 9 p.m. She would eat 1,500 calories and 80 grams of protein, somewhere between that time frame. But often she'd find herself super hungry at work the next day, and that's when she would break and eat like fast food for lunch. But when she did that, she tried to reduce those calories away from her 5 to 9 p.m. window. So if she ate, say 500 calories of fast food, she would try to eat 500 calories less at that night in her time window. Now, when she had done this, she had lost 40 pounds, but she had been stuck at 180 pounds for 9 months by the time she reached out to me. She was exercising 3 times a week, once with a trainer, but she wasn't making strength progress, really wasn't making any visible muscle changes, and she felt like she was doing all the work, but someone else was getting the results, is what she said, which I thought was funny. What we discussed is one of the questions I asked her. I said, why did you select this meal timing? Is it because you were too busy in the mornings to eat? Maybe you weren't hungry during the day. What made you choose this evening mealtime window? She said that she heard that if you don't eat right away, it forces the body to use body fat. So the longer she could go without eating, the more body fat she would burn throughout the day. And then by controlling what she ate at night, she wouldn't be giving her body enough food to actually replace the body fat that she had burned during the day. So in the long run, she'd be able to burn off more fat than what was being replaced. Now, that was kind of the way in which she thought intermittent fasting worked. She felt like it worked for a while, but wasn't sure why it wasn't working anymore. What she was doing, that's actually what I asked her. I said, what were you doing before you started this structure? And she said she kind of ate whatever, whenever. There was really no plan to it. So the structure that she's following, this intermittent fasting style structure, it gave her structure. It gave her consistency. And it also kind of prompted her to make healthier food choices. She was selecting foods with lower sugar content, trying to eat what she believed to be healthier options. And the results she got at first were great. I mean, it was, switching from no structure whatsoever to some structure and choosing relatively better foods is definitely going to get some improvement. So she went from inconsistent eating to consistent eating, and it helped a lot. She lost 40 pounds, but now she's stuck. She's not losing weight, not building muscle, not getting any stronger. When we talked, I asked her to start eating some food in the morning, since she was hungry in the morning, and since she was hungry during the day, and so much so that it led to cravings, and she'd feel like she was a failure when she'd eat her lunch when she wasn't supposed to. It had a really hard kind of mental effect on her. So I said, why don't you start eating some food in the morning, start eating some food at lunch? I gave her some calorie and protein targets for the morning and midday hours. I then gave her a food list for ideas that she could eat. She then disappeared for 3 weeks. So that always makes me go like, crap. What did I say wrong? And did I push the person too hard? It makes me, definitely kind of think whether something I did could have been done differently. But she disappeared for 3 weeks. So I was reaching out to her and just saying, hey, hope you're doing okay. If you need something, let me know. But when she finally reached back out, she said that she hadn't made any of the changes that I suggested. The idea to her of eating more during the day scared her that she would gain back the 40 pounds that she had lost. So she didn't do anything. She did nothing. And for 3 weeks, nothing changed. She didn't get any stronger, didn't build any muscle. She still had the cravings, still had the mental challenges and the fights with herself. She said she reached out because during the 3 weeks of doing what she had been doing before, she got what she had been getting before, which was nothing. So in a sense, it proved to her that something different would need to be done in order to get something different. Doing nothing got her nothing. When we know a change needs to be made, but it's scary, it's unknown, we're not sure what to do. Nothing is not an option. If you do nothing, you get nothing. If you do something, you get something. It may not be the something that you want, but it can be redirected. My wife and I actually have a prayer that we pray to God whenever we start on something that's new and scary or unknown. We ask God to bumper bowl us along the way. So you think of it like bumper bowling. So we ask him, if it's not meant to be, close the door. Make sure that it can't even possibly be done because we're so freaking stubborn that we will try her anyhow. So if it's not supposed to be done, close the door, shut the window, burn the house down, whatever you got to do. Just make sure it cannot be done. Otherwise, we're going to keep trying. But if it is okay to do, if it's something that still fits our life plan, can you please guide us along the way? And we think of it like bumper bowling. It's our job to throw the ball. And then we ask God to bumper it in the right direction. So when we know a change needs to be made, but it's scary, it's unknown, we're not sure what to do, throw the ball anyhow. Just do something, anything. Even if you don't know what to do something. It'll produce a result. You'll see what the result is. If you wanted that result, great, keep doing it. If you didn't want that result, redirect your efforts into something different. Nothing is not an option because nothing gets you nothing. Something will get you something. And then you can redirect that. You can try things a little bit different. And you can refine it and fine-tune it and get it to exactly what you want. When we know a change needs to be made, but it's scary, it's unknown, we're not sure what to do, nothing is not an option. Throw the ball anyhow. Just do something that truly will help you progress and move forward. It would be perfect if we had the perfect plan. But often we don't have that. We can have a plan, and then by acting on that plan, we can perfect it. But we can't really know what's perfect before we begin. We just have to start. And once you start, you can redirect and refine what you do. So again, when we know a change needs to be made, but it's scary, it's unknown, we're not sure what to do, nothing is not an option. Remember that you can bumper bowl it, okay? Throw the ball. And then based on what you see happening, redirect it where you want it to go. Awesome. Okay, well, if you need any help with what the something could be, that you could start with, reach out. My email is brutalironjim@gmail.com. I'm always here and I'm always happy to help. If you like the podcast, please share the podcast. If you like the podcast, please consider donating to support the podcast, which you can do on our website. Also, if you like the information we share in the podcast, you can find more from us on our social media channels. You can find us and follow us on Instagram and YouTube under the name Brutal Iron Jim. As always, I hope this was helpful, and thank you for listening.